Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Mona's Take. I am your host, Mona Rose. I want to welcome all my new subscribers. Thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything I have coming up. I am going to be covering Survivor, The Challenge, Challenge All-Stars, Real Housewives of Atlanta, and Real Housewives of New Jersey. And of course, this summer, Big Brother. So hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of it. Today's video is going to be on Todrick Hall. Will CBS pay him? I've been reading a lot on Twitter. Spoiler King is a great information source. I watched Twitter at the beginning of Big Brother, Celebrity Big Brother, to see if he was actually for real or not. Because any of you that follow Big Brother on Twitter, we all know that Spoiler Girl was a hack. There's been a couple of others that aren't true information sources. Every spoiler that Spoiler King has put out has come to pass. So I highly trust his information. I believe that he works for CBS or the production crew, one or the other, because he's in the meetings, he knows what's going on before we even know it. So if you're on Twitter and you're not already following him, I suggest that you go follow Spoiler King. He has different spoilers for CBS in general. Okay, will Todrick get paid? Let's see. On March 5th, Hannah at BB Kitty Girl sent a message to Spoiler King and said, originally CBS wanted Todrick to win. He was favored by the higher-ups. It wasn't until he was canceled online and showed his true colors on live feeds that changed their mind. CBS always wants a good celebrity representative. Misha wasn't big enough, likable in their minds. To which Spoiler King said, Todrick was going nuts over gaming before feeds even started. He was not favored by production at all. On March 5th, Miss Caroline 74 sent a message saying, I'm curious, does she know who you are on here? So she's asking if Grodner knows who he is on here, on Twitter. And Twitter said she keeps talking about me at meetings, so I doubt it. On March 5th, Spoiler King says, Todrick has not talked to anyone from the show besides Misha since ending its production. On March 5th, Spoiler King says, Todrick has not talked to anyone from the show besides Misha since it ended, and production 3 times. People were asking Todd if he had talked to Todrick since the show ended, how their relationship was or whatever. He has talked to no one but Misha. I don't remember who it was that posted, but I saw a post the other day saying that Misha had unfollowed Todrick on Instagram because she had watched some of the live feeds, which I find quite ironic because he was talking to her 99% of the time when he said this stuff. So she's heard all of it. She knew what he was saying, but now she's going to act like she's appalled by it. She was a part of it. She said nasty things about Shayna. She said nasty things about women in general. So now she wants to act like she's above that. I don't buy it. I think she was her true self in there as well. On March 5th, Spoiler King says that Todrick Hall's team has emailed production asking for the fee Todrick was supposed to get for doing his press obligations. Production refused based on his contract. This could get ugly. Well, he did have a contract and he did have obligations to fulfill, which he has not. However, in the contract, according to Spoiler King, the original contract, he was supposed to be able to sing his song on finale night. And I'm guessing a week or so before the finale, they told him he couldn't. So he's saying that they broke the contract first because they didn't allow him to sing his original song. On March 5th, Marta K. McKillen at K_McKillen on Twitter says that she doesn't think that Todd's too upset about not talking to Todrick. He's made several tweets about it. People have asked him about it. I think that he could probably never talk to Todrick again and he would be fine. Bobby R. at BobbyBlue72 asked, how can it get ugly? He signed a contract which stipulated he had to do press. He hasn't, unless I missed it. Spoiler King says, because Todrick's management team is very aggressive and ruthless. Someone from his supposed team already told me to stop writing spoilers. So evidently they're trying to reach out to him as well to get him to stop filling us in on what's still going on. To which Georgia at VinoCave_girl replied to Spoiler King, nobody put Spoiler King in the corner. I don't think that's going to happen either unless they find out who he or she is. It very well may be a woman, but she's doing Spoiler King to throw it off and make them think that it's a man. But I truly believe it's someone on the production crew or someone who works for CBS that is in these meetings and is seeing what's going on. I may be wrong, but he's been spot on every time. Carson did an interview where he said he was asked about the end of the finale, what happened, and he said he did briefly talk with Todrick, and Todrick was upset because he didn't vote for him. And Spoiler King said, just saw this, Carson is very diplomatic. Plus, of course, he will say things in the most polite way. And he does. If you want to get specific, it was mostly Todrick talking in a raised voice to Carson as Carson nodded his head and tried to get a word in. So they did have a few words at the finale before he stormed off and went to hid in his dressing room. Spoiler King says there was a champagne toast on finale night by production to celebrate Misha's win, but by then virtually the entire cast had left. The only one remained was Todrick locked in his dressing room with Grodner trying to console him, and Cynthia and Carson for interviews. Spoiler King also says that a member of production had sent emails to both Shayna and Todrick trying to see if they could have a meeting and squash the beef between them or whatever and get back on the right path. Shayna didn't respond to the offer at all. Todrick declined, but he said because he was too busy, his tour's coming up or whatever, but that he would give her 2 tickets to come to one of his concerts if she wanted to. I think she was pretty clear when she cast that vote and said, this ensures that I never have to hear your voice again. I don't see Shayna going to one of his concerts at all. Yesterday, Spoiler King put that Todrick's management company is claiming because he was not allowed to perform his original song on finale night, he should be paid for the interview press obligations he did not do. He says Todrick's team is now saying he will not ever be returning to BB unless he's paid. Honey, don't pay. I wouldn't care if he ever returned to anything on my TV. Ever. And I'm sure that a lot of you out there feel that way. And I have to say, I watched Candy and the Gang last night. For those of you who don't know, it's Candy Burris from Real Housewives of Atlanta. She's got a spinoff called Candy and the Gang, and it's about her family and her restaurants and stuff. And it premiered last night. Well, afterwards, she was on What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, along with Carson. They were asked several questions, and Andy asked Carson about Todrick. And of course, Carson was being very diplomatic and respectful like he always is. And I'm going to tell you, I love my girl Candy. She's my favorite on that show. But when she said, let me say something, she's like, Todrick is a friend of mine. And she's played Big Brother. She was on last year on Celebrity Big Brother. And she says, he was just playing the game. He played the game well. And he should receive love, so send him some love. That tells me Candy didn't watch the live feeds. That tells me Candy didn't follow it at all. If she watched the episodes, then she didn't see what we saw on the live feeds. So she didn't see the viciousness in which he attacked personally different house guests. I was like, Candy, girl, slap you. Get in the swing of things. You don't know what's going on. But anyway, I just had to add that because I just thought about it. Kimberly Dolan at Kimmy_D_RN on Twitter. She replied and said, I don't think anyone ever wants him back. To which Spoiler King says, Grodner does. I don't know anything about this Grodner. I've heard her name a lot. I guess I've never really paid attention to that part of it because I've just got on Twitter this year. So I don't know a lot about her, but from what I'm reading and seeing with the edits and all of that, I don't like it. Yesterday, Spoiler King said he tried to DM someone who didn't follow him and Twitter wanted his phone number. He's like, not today, Satan, not today. They trying to figure out who he is or she. And then he said, Grodner told Todrick something shocking in a weekend email, more to come tomorrow morning. Apparently, Grodner has apologized to Todrick for not letting him sing his song on finale night. She's paid his salary in full and encourages him to play on next season's Celebrity Big Brother All-Stars. Todrick has yet to respond. So next season, we should be getting a Celebrity All-Stars. So it's people who've played in Celebrity Big Brother before. That seems premature since there's only 3 seasons. You figure they would have at least done 4, but who knows? We'll see. Todrick has yet to respond to Grodner. Spoiler King says that Todd got paid more than Todrick called to appear in an interview on this season's Celebrity Big Brother. I believe that because I think depending on your level of being a celebrity, they got paid. Each person got paid differently. I would think that if I had to look at that, I think Lamar and Todd probably would have been the highest paid, but I don't know. Because I guess they're all known in their circle of people. Just because I don't know somebody doesn't mean that there's not thousands of others that do. I didn't know who Lamar Odom was until he came into the house. I didn't know who Misha Tate was until she came into the house. I didn't know who Shayna was. I knew Todd, I knew Cynthia, I knew Carson. Knew of Carson. I didn't really follow him that much. And Teddy Mellencamp, I really didn't know anything about her. I didn't watch her season of Real Housewives. I don't watch that one. So I didn't know much about her. So I guess, they're all celebrities in their realm of people. Although I have to say, Lamar Odom stole my heart. And there's talk that him and Todd are going to do some kind of reality TV show together. I hope so. That would be so funny. So, looks like he's gotten his money. So hopefully, we might hear him start doing some press. I doubt it. I think he's going to act like nothing ever happened. He's not going to acknowledge it. Because if he acknowledges it, he has to admit that his behavior was horrible. And I don't see him doing that. I see him as a narcissist. Everybody, he's the type, everybody hates me. It's never my fault. It's this one's fault. It's that one's fault. I've always said, if you fight with everybody around you, there's one common denominator, and that is you. So I don't think he's going to apologize. I don't think he's even going to acknowledge it. Oh, this is hilarious. I just found this clip. Of him talking about Shayna not standing up and facing her accusers. I don't know if you can hear it.
If you weren't lying, you could sit everybody in the room, man up, with your chest out, and tell everybody what you did. But she can't, and she won't. If it were me, I would be able to sit down here with every single person.
So, I don't know if you heard that or not, but it was when Todrick lied to Carson and Cynthia about Shayna and started the whole fight, and he's talking to the cameras, and he's like, if she was telling the truth, she'd be able to sit down here and get us all together, and she would say, you're lying and I'm telling the truth or whatever, but she can't do that because she knows she's lying. If it were me, I would face up to my accusers and I would defend myself. Guess what? He hasn't faced up to his accusers and he hasn't defended himself. Anyway, I would almost bet my life on the fact that he will never own up to what he did in that house. So that's about all for now. He got paid. I was hoping he wouldn't, because I was hoping he would never return to CBS. Found out that a lot of people are blindly following him because all they've watched is the show. He was complaining that the show was edited unfairly towards him. Honey, it wasn't the show that canceled you online. It was the live feeds, because the show did not cover any of your dirtiness when it came to talking about people and making it personal. The only thing they did show was the fight between him and Chris Kirkpatrick. But they didn't show him talking about his former assistants, his former drag queen friend that came and did a Halloween party for him and never got paid, his videographer who never got paid. And he was talking about, even Tamar Braxton, he was talking about her. It's like, they didn't show any of that. So I think, yeah, you're right. It was edited unfairly. They should have shown your true colors. But they didn't. And they didn't show Misha's. It was all tied together in a nice little bow. And they were this dynamic duo. And he was so compassionate. And this and that. That's what it showed. Which was not really what was going on. So anyway, that's about all I have for you guys today. I'm looking forward to Survivor starting on Wednesday. I hope y'all are too. And the Challenge All-Stars, I think, starts sometime this week. I have to recheck the date on that. And then we'll have Big Brother this summer. So I'm looking forward to it. You guys have a good night. And as always, much love.